G'day guys and welcome back. So we're at a hip camp at the moment called Chittering Acres. We've actually been here a couple of times before, so I'm not going to do another trip video, but I thought I'd take the opportunity to talk about the camper trailer. We've had it for just under 2 years and we've done about 15,000 Ks in it, some of it in quite unforgiving condition. So I thought I'd just run through what's gone wrong with the camper, the warranty claims that we've made, what we've damaged just from everyday use. I think what we'll do, we'll break the video up into sort of two sections. The first bit's going to be the warranty claims that we've made, and then we'll just go into the damage that we've sustained and what's gone wrong with it just from everyday use. So first of all, it's been a fantastic camper. Nothing major has gone wrong with it. The first warranty claim that we had, it's a little bit disappointing actually. It was before we even picked it up. We turned up at the warehouse, the showroom, sorry, to pick up the camper, and the indicator wasn't working. The bottom one was, the top one wasn't. So that was our first impression of the camper, but they fixed it on the spot. Before we even took it out, before we even hitched it up, they had the technician come out and replace this lens. The next little warranty claim, as soon as we got home, we were taken off the next day for our first little shakedown trip. So we got home, we opened it all up, and we inspected everything. And the stairs, you're not going to be able to see, so I'll put in some photos, but the paint on the stairs was peeling and there was visible rust, which a little bit disappointing. We'd only just gotten it home right that day, so I put a warranty claim in straight away and there was no arguments. They sent out a replacement set of steps, and to be honest, I haven't even fitted them yet. These are still the original steps. The ones that they sent out, the replacement steps, are still sitting on a shelf at home. So they're fine, they're operational. It's just the paint was flaking off with some visible rust underneath. So not a huge deal, but you know, it's brand new. You don't expect that sort of thing. The first major trip we took the Robbo on was out to Mount Augustus and Karijini. And on that trip we had 3 things go wrong. First thing was the indicator on the other side this time. So same thing, just stopped working. The brake light was working, the bottom indicator was functional, just that top indicator went. At the same time on that trip I noticed that one of the spare tyres on the sidewall, there was a split that started to appear. Now we never even rolled on that tyre. It was only a tiny little crack, but I figured if it's going back to get the indicator replaced, I'll report the split tyre. They replaced that as well. And the other thing, like that trip was hundreds of kilometres of corrugations and dust, dusty roads. And we actually had a little bit of dust ingress into the camper, not into the main section of the camper, but into all the little cabinets. It basically had come through the penetrations in the floor for all your services, like your water and your power and your cables and all that. It was just the Celastic around those penetrations that needed replacing. It's something I could have quite easily done myself, but considering it was going back for the indicator and the spare tyre, I figured they may as well do that Celasticing as well. Now, the final warranty claim was the rear bar. So we were very quickly approaching the end of our warranty period, and it was only a few days before I had noticed that the paint on the rear bar was starting to flake, and I peeled some of it up and it was all rusty underneath there. So I put in a claim. That claim got approved as well, and I was expecting the new rear bar just to come in its most basic form, but it actually came complete with the indicators. It was all pre-wired. You had all the hardware for the spare wheels, the locking pins, and the gas struts. So it was just a simple remove the old one and slide in the new one. So that's the end of the warranty claims. Now let's move on to what we've damaged and what's gone wrong just from day-to-day use. Okay, so firstly up the front here, the stone guards, I don't know if you can see, but they've been absolutely peppered by gravel. So all the paint, all the nice factory sheen has come off of those. We don't run rock tamers or stone stompers or anything like that, so that's been getting absolutely blasted with gravel. And you'd be going along a gravel road at about 80 k's an hour, and then you'd hear like a thunk on the roof of the car. So what was that? You drive along, thunk on the roof of the car again. So it's actually gravel hitting that stone deflector, ricocheting at 80 k's an hour, right? And then landing on the roof of the car. So it's probably only a matter of time before you shatter your rear windscreen. So I think a stone stomper or some rock tamers are a thing to go for there. See, we've got the Stone Guard buddies now. So I think the stone stomper or the rock tamers are the way to go now, because these bags would probably be shredded to pieces if we didn't have that. So that's something we're going to have to sort out. And you can also see that the little reflectors down here, they've obviously been smashed by the rocks as well, and on the other side. And also, while we're up the front here, this is a replacement cap for the diesel heater. I was going to fill up on one of our trips. That was empty. It was hot weather anyway, so I didn't need to fill it, but it was empty, so I thought I'd fill it up. When I saw the price of diesel, I thought, no, I'm not going to fill it up, and I forgot to put the lid back on, so I lost it. Now that's not an authentic replacement lid. You can get them. MDC do stock them. I think they're only $5, but it was $15 postage, and I couldn't bring myself to pay, you know, 3 times the amount in postage. So I actually found that one in the street, and it fit exactly the same thread, so winner. The heat shrink for the trailer plug and the Anderson plug, it just split and came away. So I just used some duct tape just to hold them together. You can see it's already starting to peel away, so I just need to redo that again. Not a biggie really. Before I climb underneath and get myself all dirty, these tyres, I'll try and get you in nice and close. They're starting to develop some scalloping on the tread. You're not going to be able to see that very well, but it's quite uneven wear just on the little tread blocks there. So I do know that other owners of similar trailers suffer from the same thing. I'm not entirely sure why. It's probably a combination of a few things. Incorrect tire pressures, your alignment, possibly your camber, uneven loading, or it could also be that they're mud terrain tyres. You probably don't really need mud terrains. It's just a trailer tyre, it's not a driving wheel. So all terrains is probably the way to go, to be honest. And they're also just the cheap Chinese muddies. So probably a combination of all those things. When they finally do get to the point where I need to replace them, I'll put the spares on. When they wear out, then I'll replace them for all terrains. And also our next service, I'll get the guy to just inspect the alignment. Right, time to head underneath. So as you saw the damage from the gravel roads on the Stone Guard there, the suspension has also been absolutely blasted. So all the paint has worn away from the springs and the suspension arms. So no major deal with that. It's just basically stripped the paint, so it just doesn't look pretty. But while we're under here, one of these little chains here, this little U-shackle here, we lost one on that same trip, that Mount Augustus Carragini trip. So I reckon a big stone had smashed into that and probably undid the buckle a little bit, and it just came loose. So that just stops the suspension from traveling too far. So I had a spare shackle on that trip, so I just put that straight in. And also, while we're under here, you can see that the checker plating guard for the poly tanks has copped quite a hiding as well. Now, without this checker plating, we definitely would have smashed into the poly tank and sprung a leak. And just having a look at the rear tank here, you can see that one right there's had quite a decent whack on it. So there's been a big stone whack into that. So it's a good thing that we've even got that checker plating. So when I removed that rear bar, I was actually quite surprised. It's just an open channel. The amount of dirt and gravel and stones that were inside that tubing, it's not surprising that the underside of the camper's had a bit of a hard life. Alright, so the standard bung for the water tank that came with the camper, it's got a 21mm nut there. You can put a 21mm socket on to undo and do up. I actually destroyed it. It broke off, snapped off. But you can actually get a replacement bung from Bunnings. It's a 32mm plug. just to get it in the irrigation section, and they thread straight in. So I've actually got a couple of spares of these. So the tank at the back has this bung, and the one at the front, the original one, still working. When that goes, obviously put the replacement one in. Okay, so anyone who's attempted to put the awning up by themselves knows it can be quite tricky until you get a good procedure in place on how to do it. I thought I had it right. I didn't have it anchored properly, and the poles came crashing down, and I snapped the end on one of the awning poles. You can get replacement, what would you call them? Plugs. But I just found that in the shed at home in the garage. It was just a hook, a threaded hook. I just closed the hook end and just screwed it straight into the plastic that remained in the pole, and that's worked absolutely fine. It actually works better than the proper plug. I don't know what you call it, plastic tab with a hole in it, because they don't fit on very well, I find. But this one's perfect, so I can't wait for the rest of them to break, and then I can just replace them with a little hook like that. All right, we're almost there, guys. There's only a couple more things. I better stop waffling on for the moment. I'm going to crack it open, get it set up, and then we'll head inside just for a couple more things. Miranda and the kids walked off to let me do this filming, and I haven't come back. I reckon they're waiting for me to set it up. That's what I reckon they're doing. If Miranda's smart, that's exactly what she'd be doing. That's what I'd be doing. All right, that's enough chit chat. Let's get set it up. Well, look at that. Just in time.
I was actually hoping it'd be up by the time I got back. I was pretty disappointed to see it wasn't.
Told ya. Told ya.
We have trekked to the... Whew.
Ready to help pack up? Set up?
I'm ready to get a beer.
Oh yeah. Beers for the setup. Best way to go. Perfect timing. Bravo. Set up. Thanks for helping me. Jacqueline did so much setting up. Cameron did heaps as well. Miranda did, you know, I suppose her fair share. She's cooking though. Big feast tonight. Yep. Alright. Now, if you guys just jump out the way a sec. So, a couple little things that have happened inside. Nothing major. This funny little pole here. It was actually on the inside of these cushions. It was in there. It actually made it really uncomfortable to sit in. I didn't even realise it was there until it poked out the cushion through this little hole here. And it was basically sticking out the side. So I got a little hole in the cushion there, and I removed it. We only had it come through on the one, but I removed them all, and it actually makes them much more comfortable to sit on. What else has happened in here? Oh. So this internal pole here, this one, it's always been a pain in the butt to slide open and get home all the way. Once it's out, sort of 200 mil, it's fine, it slides out easy. But for whatever reason, it's quite tight, trying to get it all the way back in. I've got some CRC or some Lanatec on there, which made it a lot easier, but I think maybe that pole's ever so slightly bent. Not a huge drama, but yeah, you just got to give it a good whack to get that one open. So the only other issue I can remember in here, and it's not really an issue in here, but the original batteries that came with the camper, the Volta AGMs, they failed after about 12 months, but I wasn't too upset. They should last longer than that, but I wanted to replace them for some lithiums anyway. I upgraded all the chargers as well to a lithium profile, and I installed a shunt too. So I've got some videos on that if you guys wanted to go through our playlist, and you'll find them. There's only one more thing I forgot about outside, and this one's actually Miranda's fault, so we'll go talk about it. Love you.
Oh,
So let's go and have a look. There's your kitchen. It's a bit bouncy. Do you want to explain what happened?
Well, you didn't double check that everything was done after we packed away.
So the last thing I always do when we pack up and leave, or when we hitch up and take off to go somewhere, I double, triple check everything. The one time I didn't, disaster struck. We get home, right, and we got these pole carriers on the outside. So we get home, and I'm met with that. All the poles were hanging out like that, and we only lost one thing. We lost the second attachment for the kitchen support. But we haven't tried this yet. I'm going to use one of the window poles, and that's the spare cap for the diesel heater that I was using once I'd lost the the other one. So I reckon I'll be able to jimmy something up. Oh, that'll work. Yeah. Crisis averted. So that'll work. There you go.
Very good, thank you.
$60 plus postage for a replacement. I think we'll just stick with that one.
Well, we can wait till they come into stock in Perth, and then we don't have to pay the postage.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Seems quite rich, doesn't it? $60. It's an expensive mistake, that one. I'll double check every time from now on.
I think you should quadruple check.
Alright, well, I think that's about it, guys. That's everything that we've broken and that's gone wrong, just the day-to-day use, and the warranty claims that we've made. Other than those few little things, it's been an absolutely fantastic camper. We love it. We get out as often as we can. The reason why we've come back to this place and we're not doing a trip video because we've already been here is we've got a Christmas party to go to tomorrow, but we didn't have anything else on, and this is only what, 50 k's from home.
Yeah.
So we decided to go out anyway because we just love it.
Yeah.
And we'll leave tomorrow, go to the party, and then come back for one more night and then go home on Sunday. Yeah, hey, why not?
it's worth it though.
That's worth it.
Yeah.
I actually look really short at the moment because I'm down in a hole. I'm not that short, am I? There we go. Righto, catch you out there.